I've done is I've taken the koan system of the ancient Chinese and the Japanese and condensed it into a 12 koan process, which clarifies it in an understanding that fits in our culture and our psyche. The ability to remain present and aware is only half of the work. To embody compassion, we must change and transform our negative emotional reactions. What is the koan system? How is it designed? Koans are your internal questions and your dynamic. We've got precept koans, we've got insight koans. Those are all classical koans. But we didn't have any emotional koans. We need more than just concentration and awareness training. Right? We need to actually have a way of looking at our deeper emotional truth. And then I started to add the emotional part and actually started working with the idea of emotional koans. What happens is there's awareness, right? And there's external events and conditions, and I sense them and I associate it with a feeling, physical memory or mental memory, and the feeling comes up and I react. That's the old model. This new model is the conditions are going on. When the feeling starts to arise that used to bring a negative reaction, now brings intense clarity and presence and awareness. I recognize that energy. Well, the first thing we have to do is get someone in a state of dhyana consciousness, which is a deep, pure witnessing state. And then from that depth, look very clearly at what's arising in the mind. So when I'm experiencing a violent emotional reaction, what am I actually feeling?
Fear?
Fear. Got it? I'm afraid that something's going to happen. And I'm violently doing an intervention, externally or internally, in reaction to that fear. What's the feeling underneath the fear? I'm afraid that something bad is going to happen. And the reason for that is I really care about this situation. You know, I really care about this. What can I do about this situation? So anger means deep caring. Anger does not mean violence. That's a chosen reaction.
The beautiful thing about this practice is that it isn't necessarily attached with any particular religion or other spiritual practice where it negates from whatever that might be.
Has anyone ever made you angry? Has anyone ever made you angry? Really? So if someone's made you be violent.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have to do that. You can instead drop in. So anger drops you into deep, clear heart mind. The emotion itself is the signifier to open the door, right? And now you get to choose what you want to do. And no one can ever make you angry again. No one has ever shamed you or made you angry. You've chosen anger, or you've chosen shame as a vehicle of expression to show your deep caring. So no one has ever made you angry. You've chosen anger as a violent intervention because you were upset with what they were doing. You cared deeply about it. And then you chose this crude, ugly club as your tool or your vehicle for expressing your care. Let's see, how will I express my deep caring? Oh, bludgeoned, verbal abuse, violence, yes. Or what else have you got in your box? How about intelligence? How about seduction? How about manipulation and cunning? They're all more effective than the weapons you've got in there that you've been bludgeoning yourself and the universe with since you were this big, right? So it's like if you really got that, now you're a free woman. No one has ever made you angry. Has anyone ever made you angry? Is that true? Well, you know what follows? Can anyone ever make you angry again?
No.
And then what happens is literally what used to frighten me now excites me and interests me. What used to anger me just brings me to great clarity and presence of mind because I'm not involved in a violent reactive pattern anymore. And it's the same with envy or jealousy or the other negative emotional patterns. They're all based on a confused reaction of a deep caring. And that's the shift. What used to excite you in a way that caused you to be fearful and move away, if you're really willing to shift that energy, when you recognize that as you now do, it's like Kevala shows up, and she is
Fearless, open, vast, pure, curious.
curious and interested and like, wow, like, you know, what's going on? What a thing to say.
Emotions are a necessary part of our being, and it's what makes us a whole being if we can tap into all those emotions.
My emotions are my choice in how I deal with them.
Yeah, how I respond to
Yeah.
my emotions is my choice.
Yes.
No one has ever made me react one way or another. I have always chosen my responses to my feelings. Excellent. I no longer will live in hysteria. I'm awake now, and I have a clear relationship and understanding of the deeper nature of my feelings. That's the possibility through the Mondo process, which is classical Rinzai Zen training for the 21st century in America.